Hi, Sebastian.
Hello, how are you?
Well, I am delighted to be speaking with you about the colony.
Thank you.
I have been
so much.
I have been such an admirer of your work forever. And
thank you. That's very kind of you.
And of course, we must get the elephant in the universe out of the room here for all of the General Hospital fans out there. Will Jerry Jacks ever come back to Port Charles?
I don't know. You never know. You never know with that.
I get it.
Not for the moment, because I have a lot of engagement.
You sure do.
It's been a very busy year, but you never know.
Well, and I can tell you that your name has been lighting up all of the General Hospital fan boards on social media, wanting the return, wanting the return of a villain like Jerry, as opposed to the most recent ones. And I found that really interesting. And I think it's because you always play every character, be it a good character, a bad character, be it Reichminister Hausmann in Man in the High Castle. You always play, it's never totally one or the other. You always add an element of good or an element of bad. And I think that is your really great appeal.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I try and, for me, a character is a character, so I try and approach the role in a sort of more than one-dimensional way. So I try to be, to bring in a sort of more multi-dimensional character with a past, with, what that entails. It always entails tribulations, pain, happiness, but different life experiences. So you bring that to your character. I also believe in bringing, a little humor. I'm not trying to do comedy, but also bringing a little levity sometimes to certain characters. It's important to not be just a one-dimensional character. That's very, very important.
Well, and I think you mentioned some levity, and I think we saw that in Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3 and from you, and even playing King Stefan in Once Upon a Time, there's a little bit of lightness there. But But here with the colony, Sebastian, as I tweeted to you the other day, this is one of the most beautiful and most moving performances I have ever seen from you.
Thank you.
The way you interact with Chloe as young Blake and Nora, who I spoke with, and Nora adores you. She loved playing adult Blake and being your daughter.
Yes, I know. We had an instant connection, actually. It was really wonderful. She's so giving. She's such a good actress. She's a hard worker. And we worked incredibly well, even though we worked for a few days, just a couple of days together. We instantly had an amazing connection, and it makes our job so much easier. So yeah, it was. I think the world of her. She's so talented and so giving, and we managed to get somewhere emotionally that was truly profound. I have amazing memories of that shoot. Really, I really do. And it's also due to the fact that the director let us go there. He was so open and receptive to what we proposed, and speaking both as French speakers, we also added a little French in there to sort of make the connection even stronger. So yeah, she's I think the world of her too. She's a wonderful young woman. Doing really well now. I'm really happy for her.
Oh, she truly is. I've been watching Nora for a long time, so I'm thrilled to see everything that she's doing now. But and something that you do so beautifully in the colony is the way that you interact with Chloe Heinrich, who plays young Blake. The connection you establish with her, you and Nora really solidify that. There is not a moment that I did not believe that when we see this older man and we see Nora walk in, there's not a moment you don't believe the love between a father and a daughter. And that reunion scene when he turns and realizes it's her, she realizes it's him, I was crying. I had to pull out the tissues, Sebastian.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you're saying that, because that's really what we wanted to convey, you know. It's such an emotional moment. Can you imagine, you know, literally leaving a planet and that, you know, pretty much knowing that you'll never see anyone that you knew before, and suddenly the person that's the closest to you, that you love the most in the world, is there. So that made for a really, really incredibly deep moment between us. And I really, and Chloe, the young actress, was so wonderful too at the beginning. And we also wanted to have this great connection. She was a wonderful young actress. And the same with Tim, you know, the director. He really was so open and patient, and, you know, really wanted wanted us to, you know, come up with our own relationship. And I'm really glad that it shows, you know, and because actually I haven't yet seen the film.
Oh.
I'm gonna see it. I've seen bits of it, but I haven't yet seen the film, and I loved every second of working on the film. You know, with such an amazing team of people who were so passionate about the project. That's what really, it's rare to be on a shoot where the director of photography, production design, the costumes are so in tune with what you're doing. And Tim was so patient. He really took his time with us. And I think that's why it gives this I don't know, I think this real deep connection with the public, you know, because it shows, yeah.
Well, the heart that we see between Papa and Blake, be it young Blake, but particularly with adult Blake, that heart is the essence of this film. That is the theme. It's why would you even go to another planet? Why would you want to worry about extinction were it not for love and a connection like this? And I got news for every father and daughter out there who sees this film. It is going to touch them so deeply and reel them in so that you can explore the morals and the ethics that come out in this story.
Oh, I'm so glad that I'm really glad that you saw that. Yes, I remember actually you tweeted me, right? On Twitter, right? I remember. Yes, I remember. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm so glad that it's coming out like this. And I remember Tim telling me that they were doing test screenings, and that they really apparently that my relationship with my daughter is the thing that a lot of people really loved in the film. So I think mission accomplished.
You know, it's why save humanity, but for a relationship and a love like that.
Yes.
That's the whole crux of it. I'm curious, Sebastian, because this is a very sparse film in terms of production design. It's very nuanced. The color palette is pulled back. It doesn't have the vibrancy or even the majesty of something like Big Sky or Six Underground. But it really lets the performances shine and allow for that connection between the audience and the characters. Is that something that aids in your performance when you're working on a set like this, where it's unfettered? And it really comes down to your performance.
Yes, I think that, so much, it's on purpose that, this color palette, like the incredible director of photography, Marcus Fordra, they really work in tandem to create this look, this sort of end-of-world look and sparsity. But, what I really, once again appreciated was the incredible generosity from the director, and the writers, towards the actors. And I think that's why Tim got such incredible performances out of Nora, Ian, and Sarah-Sofie, all the actors that were on set. He took such care and such patience and such openness with us that it's when you have someone encouraging you that much in what you're proposing, you can only do good work. Mm-hmm. And also the atmosphere on set was incredibly calm and professional. But what I really loved about Tim is his passion, his complete and utter passion, his real dedication to the project. And that's something that sometimes you don't see as much, and sometimes you don't have a director that takes so much time with you and discusses the character. And so, and in my view, you can only make a performance better. So I give him a huge amount of credit. And I think, also casting, I think it was brilliant to cast Nora and the other actors that were, mm-hmm. and myself. What can I say?
Of course.
I connected, I remember connecting with the material instantly. I had an instant connection with the material. I actually put myself on tape, but I had this feeling inside that I would get the role. I knew that what I put on tape was going to get me the job because of the connection that I had with the text. So, it was meant to be. Some things are meant to be, and this project was meant to be. And even though it's a character that comes back in flashbacks and is not all through the film, it is a wonderfully important and humane and beautiful character. I really, really loved the empathy and the love that this character had for his daughter. So, yeah, it's a rich experience for me.
This is something we don't typically get to see from you. We don't really ever get to see this softer side. And, of course,
yes.
With the adult Blake, and then you're playing opposite Ian Glenn Gibson, and the battle about the fate of humanity, and that's where morals really come into play. And to see you turn and change from who you were as a younger man, and now see the bigger picture and change your perspective. Calmly, rationally, and with heart and mind in sync. It is fabulous to see that from you. It's something we don't see enough of from you with your roles.
I know. I know. Well, I still have tons of time. So I think in the future you will see a little more.
Oh.
Maybe a little more of that as I get more mature and older and can explore these kind of roles. They're always interesting. To me, I always relish character roles because they offer a richer approach to acting for me. I was having a conversation with a wonderful actor who I was just working with on a project I can't talk about right now, but it's an amazing project. And I was talking to him. I was saying, every time, some people want me to be a leading man, but intrinsically, I'm a character actor, and I relish being a character actor. I think that they're far richer and more interesting than most leading characters. Not all, of course. I'm not a generalized. Mm-hmm. So I embrace these roles, with two hands and try try and go into the history of what makes them who they are, you know, and it's a fascinating endeavor, you know.
Now, what?
I love every minute of it, and you know that's what I try to do with Blake's father. Yeah.
What do you look for? Is there something specific you look for in a script when it comes across your desk? Is it the character? Is it the story? Is it the director attached? Is there something in particular?
It really yeah, it really depends. I mean, you know, first and foremost, you know, as one of the great drama teachers told me, you know, it's the text, and the text, the author. So, you know, what I do is when I prepare a role, you know, I see if the role fits me, and usually, you know, what I get offered is things that are fairly close to me, or things that I'm fairly at ease with, but I always try and find a sort of different layer for the character to bring in something a little more surprising. So I will read the text over and over. You know, as my old teacher told me, you know, eventually the text will whisper its secrets to you, you know, and it's true. If you read a text over and over, suddenly you discover things that you hadn't seen on the first read, and it really informs the character that you're going to play. And then, of course, you know, whether the character is from South Africa or from Germany, you then work on that, and that also informs the character. So I love creating a sort of outward character that suddenly, and because of, when I'm talking about outward, I'm talking about, you know, accents or age or who he is in the context of the movie, you know, in terms of what he does. And then you can, then the sort of inner life of the character, you know, it sort of impregnates you. You know, it's really interesting what happens. You start seeing the truth. So for me, it's also about attaining the truth in that character. Mm-hmm. So it's a fascinating, it's such a fascinating endeavor as an actor to work on a role. You know, at first you don't get it. The accent feels fake, or what you're doing feels fake, and then suddenly you get in the truth, and you get into these moments of grace when you're shooting. You know, and it's always fascinating. And you know, what I've done this year, I've been able to go from being English to being from like Sheriff from Montana to you know, a billionaire to then doing yes, I did a movie where I played a Republican candidate for the governorship of Georgia, getting into that kind of role, and then I did a South African, then I played another guy, and then I just played a German, you know, a sort of very interesting German character. So, you know, all these characters are thrown at me, and it's an absolute delight to try and peel the onion and see what's under the characters and express them on celluloid. Actually, not celluloid anymore; it's digital now. But yeah, it's a fascinating endeavor. And the same, you know, for the colony, this character sort of fit me like a glove instantly, and had such great pleasure doing it, preparing for it, and then when I met Nora, we had such a great exchange, and yeah, great experience on that film. I really recommend anyone to go see it.
Oh, this is truly one of my picks of the year. I can tell you that with all my heart, Sebastian.
Oh, thank you.
It's one of those rare gems that comes along so infrequently, and it really makes you sit up and
Wonderful.
think while touching your heart at the same time. And that's a rare combination.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I have
It
to.
is. And it makes you think about. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you know, you're one of those rare actors that you have successfully navigated this industry for 35 years and counting, be it on the small screen, on the big screen, with one-offs, with, you know, series, regular or recurring characters.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep going and going. You're better than the Energizer Bunny. But I'm curious, what is the gift? What is the gift that acting gives
I-
you
I
that keeps you going?
I think that it has to do. I remember someone quoting something about the endurance of an actor, and I think sometimes you can get stale, doing the same thing over and over again. I've been blessed with discovering, I've been blessed with struggling and then discovering new roles over and over, which sort of keeps your instrument very sharp. And I think that, people are realizing that I can do a lot, that I have a huge amount of range, and that I can bring it. I'm not trying to be, to go, oh, look at me. But, I know I'm not being very humble about that, but I'm really in control of my instrument at the moment. And the experience that I have acquired over these years has enabled me to be, this actor in full control of my craft, I think. And that's what keeps you working. You can be a major star at 20 and forgotten, at 25. For me, it's about the work, it's about the passion of the work. And I think, a lot of my contemporaries who keep on working are as passionate as I am and work as hard as I do. And I work very hard at doing it. And it seems that, people who are hiring me are seeing the work and giving me the opportunity to better their project with my work, and I feel very honored to be invited, on their adventures, on their artistic adventures, and I really feel that the experience that I've accrued has helped me continue, carrying on as an actor. Yeah, I really do, and I've bettered. As a result, I have bettered. I've bettered myself in my craft, yeah. So, yeah, I'm getting better. I'm still learning, and I'll continue learning and keep on getting better, I hope.
I don't know. It's going to be tough because I think you're really at the top of your game right now, thus far.
Thank you so much.
One last question before I let you go, Sebastian. Is, with all the roles that you have done, all the genres you have done, is there a dream role out there that you still would love to tackle?
I mean, there are dream directors that I would like to work with. There are the Coen brothers have always been, I one day will work for the Coen brothers because for me they are some of the finest American filmmakers, worldwide filmmakers that have ever lived, and working with someone like Martin Scorsese would be a dream as well. So these are the dreams that you set yourself. I would like to do more, theater, probably, which would be really something that would be incredibly beneficial for me as an actor. And continue, for me, the dream role is the next role that I do. I get such pleasure with being on set that it pretty much is that. It is the dream role. I want to continue aging in the roles that I do and doing it in the best possible way. That's the dream for me, really.
Well, my dream is just to keep seeing you in more and more roles, Sebastian. You have never disappointed me
Thank you.
with a performance. And
thank you so much.
And this one
thank you.
in the colony, it just touches my heart so deeply. And I can't wait to see
Thank
what's
you.
next. I really can't. Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, yes, there's a lot coming up, so hopefully you'll see it.
and hopefully we'll get to chat
you so
again,
much.
and hopefully we'll chat in the future.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Sure we will.
Sebastian, thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much. That was a really wonderful conversation.
Oh,
Thank you, Debbie. Take care.
thanks, Sebastian. Bye-bye.